What's going on, FG fam, and welcome to another episode of the Miami Marlins Franchise. You're on MLB the Show 21 next-gen consoles. Jeff Samardzija going to take the mound against the St. Louis Cardinals today. But before we do that, make sure you drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel for the love of franchise content, as that is what we do here on this channel. Miami Marlins coming at 32-35. And the St. Louis Cardinals at 41-25. We will see if we can take down Miles Mikolas. He is 3-7 with a 5.81 ERA. Struggling a little bit this year for the Cardinals. Brian Anderson up at the plate, and he will hit one into the gap in right center field. Got some players coming around the bags. We are going to get the first run of the ball game. Sliding into home is David Peralta, and our Marlins take a 1-0 lead. In the top half of the first. Still in the top half of the first, it's Marte right back to Mikolas. He is thrown out at first, and that gets them through their portion of the first inning and brings in Jeff Samardzija, who is 5-4 this year with a 3.52 ERA. Not all that bad. A 1.16 whip as well, so Samardzija has been pretty surprisingly good this year. He gets Nolan Arenado to strike out on the low splitter, and Arenado's batting really well this year, so good job there. Garrett Cooper comes up and gets a bloop single into right field. That gets us runners on the corners in the top half of the second inning. Jorge Alfaro is going to strike out on the high heat, and then John Birdie is going to line one over to first base. That one's taken care of. And we are through the middle of the second. Here's a hit, though, in the top half of the third inning. And again, we're going to get runners on the corners. Another opportunity to bring home more runs. It's Corey Dickerson, but he takes strike three high and in the zone to get the Cardinals out of it. Here is Jeff Samardzija, and he is going to give up a single here into right field. That's two runners on in the bottom half of the sixth. But there's two outs, should be no problem, but Nolan Arenado comes up and spanks one over the left field wall here at the newest Busch Stadium version that there is, and Arenado hits at 403. It's his 11th homer of the season, and he gives the Cardinals a 3-1 lead in the game. So Nolan Arenado gets his job done. That is exactly what the Cardinals picked him up to be able to do. And the 3-1 game is taken into the top of the eighth, and we've got a shot going and gone. Just gets over the wall on the bounce. It's Brian Anderson's 17th homer of the year, 363 feet that one travels. Brian Anderson right now is in the home run derby race. We'll see if he can get himself there All-Star Weekend. But Brian Anderson with a big homer here, and that ties the ball game up at 3. To the bottom half of the eighth inning, here's a single into right field. And the Cardinals have two pretty fast players on with absolutely nobody down in the bottom of the eighth. And Simber stays in, gives up a single into center field, and that will score the runner all the way from second base. And the Cardinals take a 4-3 lead. That's all for Adam Simber. In comes Dylan Floro. He's 1-0. He has actually got a save this year, but he's only pitched 10 2/3 innings to a 2.53 ERA. We'll see if he can hold up here against Paul Goldschmidt, who barely taps this one and thrown onto first to get the first out of the bottom half of the eighth inning. Then here's Paul DeJong. And DeJong, this one is taken care of at second base by Birdie for the second out. Still 2 on, but now 2 away. Tyler O'Neill whiffs on the changeup low, and Floro does his job, and that'll bring in Giovanni Gallegos, who has a 2.17 ERA this year, 26-31, 5 blown saves on the season, but there is no handedness, batting 200 even on him this year. And there's the first out of the inning. Then we go to Jorge Alfaro, and he dribbles one onto short. DeJong is able to get it done and throw it on to first for out number 2. So down to the final out, Adam Duvall coming in to pinch hit. He's batting .211 this season, but with 8 homers and 24 ribbies, hoping he can provide maybe a homer, but instead it's a chopper down the third base line, and it is taken care of by Nolan Arenado, and the Cardinals come away with a 4-3 win at home at Busch Stadium. Marlins go down here after the 1-0 lead, giving up the 3-run bomb to Nolan Arenado. That makes him the player of the game. He had all 4 Cardinals RBIs. He was 2 for 4 on the day. Simber ends up with the L. He pitched an inning, only gave up a run, 1 earned run, and he takes the L. So, tough, hard-fought game. We hung in there with the Cardinals, but it wasn't enough. Anderson had a double and a homer. He had all 3 RBIs for our Marlins squad. So it was really Anderson versus Arenado today. And Arenado gets the Cardinals the victory. He's got 30 ribbies, 11 homers on the season. We'll see where he ends up at the end of the year when we take a look at the recap on the season. But right now, we're going to move into Double-A baseball as our Blue Wahoos will be hosting the Montgomery Biscuits in this game. And it is Nick Neidert on the mound. He's 2-2 with a 2.05 ERA and a 140 whip. So Neidert been a little bit surprising for this Blue Wahoo team. We'll see if he can keep his good season going as Dalton Kelly up at the plate, and he hits one down the left field line. And that one gets all the way to the corner. They will have 2 in scoring position with 2 away in the first. Can we get out of it, though? Here's Ryan Bolden. He's going to hit one all the way to the wall in right field. That will bring home both runners in scoring position. Make it 2-0 for the Biscuits over the Blue Wahoos on a 2-run double. Here's Rene Pinto. He grounds one down the third baseline, and this will be thrown on to first to end our portion of the first inning. That'll bring in their pitcher, a very nice prospect in Shane Baz, though he's having a pretty poor season, 1-4 with a 4.14 ERA. Here's Samuel Guzman. He takes this down the left field line in the bottom half of the second inning and bringing the runner around from second base and sliding in. He will score. It is Levine with the run, cutting the lead in half 2-1. Still in the bottom half of the second inning. This one's taken out to center field, and it will end the second inning as that one is caught out in center. So Yaxel Rios coming into the game. He's 3-0 with a 3.14 ERA and pretty even against righties and lefties, not allowing a ton of hits. So we'll see what Rios can do. Here's Cameron Misner, and he ropes one out to right. It gets over the wall. Homer! Cameron Misner with a 367-foot homer off of Rios, who just came into this ball game. And Misner helping out our Blue Wahoos in this Double-A ball game. You love to see the bomb. And that will bring in Ryan Sheriff. They've had enough. They're bringing in Sheriff. The Sheriff is in town. He's got a 3-something ERA. Here's Jesus Sanchez lining it into center field. That one hit up against the center fielder. Here we are in this 2-2 game. 2 away, 1 on, and this one is bobbled over at third. Nice diving stop, but couldn't make the throw down to first base. And now 2 runners on with 2 away. Opportunity for a walk-off. It's Grant Levine. He scored the run earlier, and this one's gone over the center field wall. Grant Levine with a 410-foot bomb. A walk-off shot here at home for the Blue Wahoos, and they will win the game 5-2 off of Grant Levine's Gone Like a Girl in a Country song home run. So Grant Levine gets the win for the Blue Wahoos. He is the player of the game, a homer, 3 RBIs out of our 5, of course, all on that 3-run bomb. He also scored a run in the game. Shane Baz went 7 innings, only allowed 1 run, so he did pitch pretty well today. Levine and Misner with those 2 big homers. Guzman added an RBI of his own. Nick Neidert didn't pitch all that bad, so now our 33-36 Miami Marlins continue on the simming streak here. We sweep the Cubs in very big fashion, I might add. It was 18-1 in that series in runs scored. We then 2-game sweep the Toronto Blue Jays, and then we split with the Washington Nationals, winning the first 2 games 14-3 in total. So the Marlins now over 500 as we go into July. We are going to get ourselves to the All-Star break in this episode. Whit Merrifield is acquired by the Cardinals. That is a big trade for them. And then Roberto Perez acquired by our rivals, the Nationals. So some trades already starting to take shape before the deadline. We're going to wait until around the 30th to make any moves. First, let's go check out this game against the LA Dodgers. We are 2 games above 500. Dodgers come in with 52 wins already. Well on their way to a postseason berth, you might think. Pablo Lopez will be starting this one. He's 4-7 with a 4.52 ERA and a 134 whip. Hasn't been the season he's wanted to have thus far, but we'll see if he can get on track here at home at South Beach Park. It is Mookie Betts leading off for the Dodgers, and it's a leadoff homer. No doubter over the lazy river and all the way up to the slide there. I think a little kid's going to end up with that ball. Mookie Betts with the bomb. And that'll bring up Cody Bellinger in the top half of the first with 2 on. And this had to be one of the most slow, high fly balls I've ever seen. And Cody Bellinger hits a bomb. His 3rd of the year. Only 3 homers for Belly. 383 feet. It is gone, and Bellinger hits a 3-run blast. It's 4-0. We're still in the first. Here's a dribbler over to second base. That's taken care of, but it does drive home the 5th run of the game for the Dodgers here in the first. So Lopez getting shelled early on. Into the bottom half of the second, here's Corey Dickerson. He's going to put this one over the left fielder and center fielder's heads all the way up to the wall. That's going to score a run. It is an RBI triple for Corey Dickerson. This game is 5-1. So can anybody bring home the runner from third? Here's Garrett Cooper, and that one over to short. They're going to take care of Cooper at first, give up the 2nd run of the game for the Marlins. So at least the Marlins get some runs back there in the 2nd. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Arcia jammed, but he's able to get a bloop single into right, and we're going to have runners on the corners with 1 away in the bottom half of the 3rd. Up against Dustin May in this one. So David Peralta comes up. He gets a grounder. That gets through. An RBI single for Peralta, bringing the game to within 2 runs. We get nothing after that, but we go into the 4th inning, and this one is roped out to right. Will it reach the fountain? Yes, it will. Into the fountain it goes. Max Muncy's 17th bomb of the year traveled 414 feet. And the Dodgers take a 6-3 lead. We had an opportunity here to get out of this inning with Mike Leake, and instead it ends up dropping. It's lost in the sun. They try to come home with a run, and they are tagged out at the plate. But we've got a 7-3 game. Mookie Betts up again. This one's jammed on him, and it is going to drop in right field. Mookie Betts drives home another run. It is 8-3. So after that RBI double, still in the top of the 6th, this is a single into center field. Mookie Betts going to try to come home, and he's going to make it home easily for the 9th run of the ball game for the Dodgers. They take a 9-3 lead. Now later on, it's 10-3. Here's Corey Dickerson, and he is going to be out at first base in the bottom of the 9th, but drive home a run regardless. So at 10-4, what could we really do? Here's Garrett Cooper, and he's taken out to right. That'll be the final out of the game. A 10-4 win for the Dodgers, and Dustin May getting the win here for LA. Bellinger, Mookie Betts, just way too much firepower for the Marlins here in South Beach Park. There is already talk of potential upgrades for the park, but in order for that to happen, they're going to have to unload some payroll. So we'll see what happens at the trade deadline, how close the Marlins actually are to competing, and if they're close to competing, there's probably not going to be any upgrades in the stadium. We'll see what happens, though. Dustin May does get the win. He goes to 6-2 on the season. Pablo Lopez taking the fat L. He goes to 4-8 on the season. Dickerson, Marte, and Peralta all with triples. Continuing that Dodgers series, we get 4 games swept by them. And J.D. Martinez gets acquired by the Cubs from the Red Sox, giving the Red Sox a lot of old talent. Blue Jays getting 3 prospects for Teoscar Hernandez. So the Blue Jays unloading a good player. And then unloading another good player as they get prospects for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. as they send him over to the Red Sox. So we've got the Futures game coming up. Still a little bit more in this episode to go. Don't touch that dial. Sixto Sanchez going up against the Braves. But first, we're going to take a look here at the All-Star votes. And we have a couple of guys really, really close to being All-Star starters at their position. We're going to take a look at one of them here with the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp going up against Matthew Thompson, the Charlotte Knights starting pitcher. He's 5-4 with a 2.45 ERA. We're taking a look at Isan Diaz, and he's going to strike out. He's going to try to get over to first base, and he is thrown out. So doesn't work out in his first plate appearance. Then in the top of the fourth, Charlotte with a 2-0 lead. Diaz reaches out for that one, barely taps it, and he is out, grounding out to the pitcher. Here's Diaz in the top of the sixth in a 4-1 game, and that one is roped but caught over at third base. What a glove by the third baseman. So not a great day for Isan Diaz, but if you take a look at the Jumbo Shrimp, we did have Matt Wieters go 3 for 4. So maybe he could up his trade value. Maybe we can get something for him, as we do need to unload payroll, and he costs like $2 million. So we'll see what happens at the trade deadline. We'll be talking about that more next episode as we get through the All-Star break. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section below for sure. Then, Double-A, our Blue Wahoos. Mike Morin is currently the number 1 closer. We have Brian Navarreto as the number 2 catcher. So he would make the All-Star game as it stands right now. Albert Guerrero as the number 2 second baseman. He would probably make it as well then. Jesus Sanchez and Griffin Conine, both up there for right fielder. So we're going to take a look at Jesus Sanchez against the Mississippi Braves. They're 32-27. We're 27-32. So here's Jesus Sanchez out in the outfield with 2 away in the first. Mississippi already with a 1-0 lead, and it's going to get bigger as a 3-run bomb is hit. And it'll be 4-0. Here's Sanchez, and he hits this one out to center field, but it's a fly ball, and it is caught for the second out of the first. Then in the bottom half of the fourth, Sanchez puts one in the gap. He's going to go for 2, and he is going to get into second base. He's going to roll over to third base. They're trying to throw him out, but he is going to slide down and get in there with a triple. 6-5 Mississippi. 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. Sanchez on third. They bunt him home, and Sanchez not going to end up being home because they couldn't beat out the throw to first. So Wendell Rijo up at the plate with the bases loaded. 1 away in the top of the ninth, and this grand salami of all things. Wendell Rijo had 2 homers in the game. An unbelievable outing for him. 6 RBIs in all. Can we trade for him? I need Wendell Rijo on my team. 2 homers, 1 for Shoemake and 1 for Ramos. Rijos had 6 RBIs. Wilson gave up 5 runs in 4 innings, but the bullpen held it down for Mississippi. We did not have that over with the Wahoos. Sanchez did hit an RBI triple, which was cool. Nicholas, which was our pitcher, taking the L. So looking at MLB, we have Yimi Garcia, who should be a reliever in the All-Star game. Brian Anderson's pretty close to maybe making the All-Star game. We'll see if we can get him some extra votes as we take on the Atlanta Braves. We are 44-46. They are 45-44. This is a very, very close matchup and a big divisional matchup. We will see if Sixto Sanchez can pick us up the win. Here's Anderson, and he's going to hit this fly ball out to right field. That is out number 2 in the first inning. So we'll fast forward to the bottom of the third. Braves up 4-0. And yes, we are using the old Miami Marlins Park in this particular game. There are some things that need to be renovated at South Beach Park. Some things are broken. A couple of broken toilets. They've got some lights that aren't working, and they didn't pass inspection. So for about a week and a half, we were here at Old Marlins Park, and Anderson really struggling on the day. Brian Anderson, though, did go 3 for 5 with a double, 2 RBIs. We got 2 RBIs for him. But 10-7, we fall. Travis d'Arnaud, player of the game. Atlanta Braves take a 10-7 win. And we will be back in South Beach Park very, very shortly. Freddie Freeman and Travis d'Arnaud with homers. They both had 3 RBIs apiece. Drew Smiley gave up 5 in 4 innings. But, again, another team in which the bullpen held it down enough for them to get the victory. So, that was the story early on. Curtis gets the loss as somehow Sixto Sanchez, giving up 7 runs, wasn't on the hook for the L. Starling Marte, Corey Dickerson, these are the guys that have played the most on our team thus far. We've tried to get everybody some playing time at least. I love David Peralta's season, batting .301. He has been pretty reliable out there, so maybe we look to get Peralta more of a role going forward in this series. I don't know. That would probably entail trading away Corey Dickerson, who is on a 1-year deal, so might be time to explore some of these trades. But looking at these stats, who do you think needs to stay? Who do you think needs to be on thin ice? And who do you think needs to go heading into our All-Star break episode, as that one will be coming to you later this week? I appreciate you guys. We have a standings looking. We are 8.5 games out of first from the Mets, but it's not all that much considering if you take a look at all of these other standings, how far back the last place teams are. I'm quite proud of where we are sitting at the moment. We're 3.5 games out of the wild card, which actually isn't all that much, and we actually score more runs than we give up on average. So I don't know, looking kind of weird. What do you guys think of where we sit this season? As we look at the AL, where the Yankees, Twins, and Astros are leading their respective divisions. White Sox and Angels would make the wild card. Red Sox are right there, though. The Rays look like the only other team with a real shot of contending for a playoff spot. The AL is already looking quite decided as we turn around and get ready for our All-Star break episode. I hope you guys are excited. We have every All-Star game, the Home Run Derby, the Futures game, all that coming to you. We'll also have a Major League game coming to you in the next episode. So if you are excited, make sure you drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel for the love of franchise content in all sports, because that is what we bring to you here on this channel. I appreciate you guys, and if you do want to see more franchise, make sure you click right here to see some more franchise.